There's one thing as a dyslexic parent I really wish I knew sooner, and that is audiobooks. Audiobooks would have changed bedtimes for us. I used to love reading bedtime stories. When it was stories like this, going on a bear hunt, I used to love reading bedtime stories to my kids. But as they got a bit older and they wanted the longer books, we're talking David Williams, Roald Dahl. As a dyslexic, and actually somebody at the time who didn't realise I was dyslexic, I really struggled to read these. Now I can read these books, but reading them out loud, trying to put some kind of emphasis, making them exciting or interesting for my children, no, wasn't possible for me. I had no idea what was going on. What I was reading was robotic. I was structurally able to form the words, but couldn't actually remember any of the words I'd said. And it wasn't particularly enjoyable for my children because it probably sounded a bit robotic and a bit just functional. And it really changed and killed off bedtime stories for us. It meant that it was no longer a really nice time to spend together. And it's the one thing that really makes me sad. It makes me sad to look back, because if I look back and think, if I'd just used audiobooks, if we'd have sat down with an audiobook, perhaps even had those with us in front of us, it would have made all the difference. It would have made that bedtime story, that bedtime period, such a nice time. But I fell for the pressure. Oh, it's so good, it's so important that we read to our children. And I get it. I do believe that it's important that we read to our children. But for those of us that really struggle with that, for those of us that are not going to produce a nice outcome through no fault of our own, there is this tool there which is audiobooks, and it would be fantastic. And it's the one thing that I really, really wish I had known as a dyslexic parent. And there's lots of other things I've learnt along the way which I wish I'd known sooner. This one I just didn't know soon enough. It was bedtime reading, bedtime stories were long gone before I realised that I could have done it better, I could have done it differently, which is why I'm sharing this with you, in the hopes that somebody else gets to learn from my mistakes or just the things I didn't know when I needed to know them.